Hey there, everyone. So good to be here with you. Happy Tuesday. If it's Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, whoosh, we stop everything and we come out here at our design studio in the Philadelphia region of the United States, and we love to talk to you about what you're doing in your design projects. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because basically I put people like you, design lovers working on your own home, I put you in the driver's seat to help you get those gorgeous results. If you feel like you are Pinteresting yourself to death and you're overhousing yourself and you're Instagram feeding yourself to, ad infinitum, and you're on HGTV all the time and you feel like you're on information overload, here at the Interior Design Advocate, which is a branch of our luxury design studio, but at our Interior Design Advocate branch, what we do is we take design lovers under our wing and we empower you with systems and processes to go from A to Z and really finish your projects so gorgeously. And every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I love to stop everything here in the studio and shut the door to my office and just talk to you about design. And every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I teach a lesson on something in design, and then I take your questions around that topic. Well, today's topic is all about how to develop and build your design eye. So if you are a professional designer, you are used to looking at spaces and seeing what's not there, seeing what's possible. But if you are not working in the professional design industry 24/7, day in, day out, where you're really building that muscle, it can be really, disconcerting to look at a little swatch like this and another swatch like that and start to, picture what it's all going to look like when the whole room is pulled together. So I want to share with you some actionable things to do. 3 great homework assignments I'm going to give you that are fun, I promise you. Well, one of them I know is fun. The other 2 might be a little hard, but they definitely work to build your design eye. And the questions I'll be taking today, if you are joining and want to scooch in a question, if you're struggling with something on a design project right now, you're having a hard time picturing something, and you'd like to run it by me, I will pop in and help you with that decision. So you can type in your questions live. While I'm here live, I'll look to answer them. But first, on to our lesson. How do you build your design eye? If you're one of those people who says, I don't know, Don, I look at all the swatches and I just can't buy that sofa, or I can't buy the bed, or I can't sign off on doing the kitchen reno because I just have a hard time picturing it all. Oh, how do you picture it all? Well, I'll tell you what, thought is a muscle. Just like when you go to the gym and you're, telling your bicep to do some curls. That's me doing curls with my bicep. The thought muscle is the same way, and envisioning things in design is definitely a muscle that you get better and better at the more you do it. So I'm going to share with you some things that some wonderful mentors of mine in the design industry, teachers, shared with me that absolutely had me seeing my projects before they actually happened, seeing what was possible in the room as I was making the selections, seeing how it was all going to work together. So the first thing I want to share with you is the idea of either working with a pegboard, or you can just work on your kitchen table. When you have all of your swatches, your paint swatches and your fabric swatches or your tile swatches and your furniture images that you're going to be adding to a room, maybe you're starting from scratch, so you have nothing but new furniture images, or maybe you're doing a combination of some existing pieces or some new images. Photograph the pieces that are staying. So what I want you to do as step number 1 to help you envision what the room will look like with all of your selections, all you need are all of your swatches and either a flat surface, or you can do it on a pegboard. And you also need a drawn space plan. Now, it doesn't have to be measured. If you want to just do a quick little sketch that just shows, here's the bed, here are the nightstands, here's the bench, here's the reading chair, or here's the dining room table, and here's the sideboard, and here's the bar cart. Whatever your room is, I want you to just sketch it out. And once you lay it out on your flat surface, your kitchen table, your dining room table, the floor, I want you to then map out and lay out all of your swatches and your furniture images in the exact locations that you have shown on your drawn plan. So let's just say your drawn plan shows your bed in the 12 o'clock position, you have a desk at the 6 o'clock position, and you've got a dresser at the 3 o'clock position, and you have a chaise lounge at the 9 o'clock position. So you will literally, on your table or on your pegboard, you will actually lay out all of your samples, all of your images exactly as they are in that room. And as you do that, I want you to start imagining that you're seeing how those colors and fabrics and shapes are traveling around that drawn board, around that room. You'll start to see how color travels, how shapes are traveling, how things sit next to each other, how things sit across from each other. And by mapping out the room with your samples to follow the vision that you have, the drawn vision of that furniture layout, you'll start to see the room choices taking shape. So that's one exercise that you can do to help build your design muscle. The next one is a wonderful exercise that a design mentor of mine taught to me, and if you've ever looked at any of our YouTube videos, you may have heard me teach this before, but it's so good it bears repeating. The next time you're at the hair salon getting your natural color touched up, or the next time you're at the dentist waiting for your, I don't know what, your exam or your whitening service, and you're just floating through some of your favorite design magazines, I want you to stop on an image of a room that you really, really don't resonate with. It's just not your kind of room. And rather than turning the page, I want you to look at that room and decide what 3 elements would you change in that room. Not 5, not 1, not 4. What 3 elements would you change in that room? Name one element for yourself, and then picture that element happening in that room. I don't care if you have to close your eyes, and you may find it easier to just close your eyes for a sec, but name the change, close your eyes, picture it, and then open your eyes, look down at that picture again, name the second element that you would change. Maybe you would change the wall color, maybe you would change the rug color, maybe your third item is I would change that light fixture. Now, this is not about criticizing the talented designer that did that room. It's about stretching your design muscle. Now, the harder version of this is to stop on a page with a room that you love, that you look at that room and think, oh, this is perfect. I could move in tomorrow. It's my fantasy room. Okay, good. So step B, or part B of this, is that then you want to look at that room that you totally love and ask yourself that same question. What 3 elements would I or could I change in this room? It's going to be really hard to do in a room that you already love. Make yourself do it anyway. You'll be pushing your visual muscle. You'll be pushing your ability to see what's not there. And then once again, you name the element. You picture that element coming into that visual image of that room, that photograph, and then you move on to the next element that you would change and the third element you would change. By doing this over and over, just like doing those bicep curls in the gym, you will be amazed at how you really start to develop your design eye. And if you're just joining us, in this Facebook Live, I'm teaching you some techniques that really work to help build your design eye. And I do love taking your questions live. I always take your questions related to the topic that I'm talking or teaching about. And this week's topic is a little bit hard to ask questions around because it's how to build your design eye. So I'm open to taking questions about something you're struggling with in a project you're working on, if you're having a hard time picturing what it's going to come out looking like, and I'll see if I can drill down with you. So we're talking about how to build your design eye, and certainly, look, there are programs out there like Icovia. I know a lot of my design lover students love using, lots of different apps and programs online to help map out a room so you can see what it will look like, and those are great tools, and I'm not telling you not to use them, and I'm not telling you to get stuck in the age of the abacus where you don't do anything using online tools. But if you want to build your ability to see what's not there, these thinking exercises or mental exercises, reasoning exercises, visualizing exercises absolutely work. Absolutely build your ability to see what the room will look like when all you're looking at are swatches of tile and pictures of plumbing fixtures and, paint swatches and a fabric swatch. Do these exercises I've shared so far, and it'll work. Then the last exercise I had for you is going to feel perhaps a little silly for some of you, perhaps a little airy-fairy for some of you, but it definitely works. And I had a client do it once. We were standing in her master bedroom, and she said, you know, Dawn, I love everything that you're showing me, but I'm having a really hard time picturing it. So I said, okay, sit down. And we sat down on the floor, and I said, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine sitting in this room, but I want you to just paint the whole room white. I want you to get rid of all the furniture in here and paint the whole room white. And I said, do you have that? And she said, I've got it. I said, great. We're keeping your bed, so I want you to put just your bed back in its position, and it's not moving position. Picture that bed. Can you see it? She said, I said, great. But we're talking about putting this type of bedding on there. These are the fabrics you just saw. I want you to tell me when you can see those fabrics right on that bed. And she sat there quietly, her eyes were closed, and she said, okay, I've got it. I said, good. And we talked about taking the wall color to color X. Start to imagine the walls taking on that color. Can you see it? Sit there, and I'll stay here with you as long as you need me to until you can see it. Can you see it? She sat there a little longer, silence for a couple of moments, not minutes, and then she said, yeah, I'm getting it. I said, good. Now, last piece, let's take a look at, we've already got the carpet in. Let's look at those window coverings. I want you to imagine, really look at that fabric that we just picked out. If you want to open one eye and peek at it again, I want you to imagine it covering those windows in gorgeous panels. Tell me when you can see it. And I took her through layering in every single element. She was sitting there, a sweetheart that she is, with her eyes closed, but she got it. She got it. And I'm going to tell you right now, as odd as an exercise as that sounds like, to this day, when I'm in a meeting with a client and I'm designing at 900 miles an hour, presenting things to them, taking things that they're sharing and saying, okay, good, what if we swap this out, we add this, and so on and so forth, and answering their questions, and it's a real collaborative design session, there are times when they'll say, well, Donna, could we do X? And I'll sometimes say, wait a minute, let me look at it. And I'll just kind of glance down toward the floor and just kind of look at something very neutral, and I will look at what they've asked me to see, and I would look at it in my mind's eye. It's pretty much a quick version of that exercise I just shared with you that I had my client Vanessa do with me so many years ago. But by taking her through that exercise, she was able to open her eyes and say, ah, I got it, I see it. And yes, all of these fabrics and ideas and silhouettes and furniture shapes and styles that we've looked at, I get it, I see how they'll all work. So the mind is a muscle to be controlled and directed, just like, you know, this little muscle would be as well. I'm telling my finger to wiggle, you got to tell your mind to see what's not there. So the easiest piece of this exercise was doing the design board, where you actually lay things out in your room just the way they are laid out on a sketch. The next exercise you can do is that great magazine exercise. And then the third one is, honey, close your eyes and picture it. Strip your room bare, white out the entire canvas, and then start to add things in. So I hear Katie scratching and writing over there. I know that means, Donna, there are some questions coming in. Is that what that means, Katie? Katie and I ran back here before this Facebook Live. We were just at a construction site looking at this amazing home we're designing. And the site manager saw us and he said, hey girls, I really like the steel-tipped sandals and ballet flats that you're wearing for this construction site. We didn't really plan to be out there today the way we should have. So lesson number one, never wear sandals or cute little ballet flats to a construction site. But they like us, so they put up with us. All right, so hello to everyone. Hi to Karen. Hello to Terry. Hello to Stacy. And Crystal, thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Crystal. All right, Rose asks, I'm having a hard time choosing pillows for my sofa. My sofa is white, and I want to use dark blue and white for pillows. Ooh, Rose, very fresh. I love it. Dark, I just lost my place. Sorry, Rose. My sofa is white, and I want to use dark blue and white for pillows. I want at least 2 on each side. Coordinating design of the pillows is not happening for me. Suggestions? Thanks, Rose. All right, Rose, so you said that your sofa is white. Now, white is a subjective word. Is it a dirty white or is it a white white? What are you picturing in your mind's eye, Rose? There's that thing again, your mind's eye. So what I would suggest you do, Rose, is that you work with fabric swatches, or if you're buying your pillows at retail, bring them home. But what I would do in the store is I would take a picture of your sofa with you so you can make sure that the background white of your blue and white pillow will sit happily against your sofa. Does that make sense? So if your sofa is a dirty white and you bring home a starched white, will that bother you? Like a blue and white striped pillow in a real, bleached white next to more of a linen white sofa. Okay, so I would tell you to be careful. Are you a little more tea stained on your white? So I would tell you, whatever this is hanging in my face is driving me crazy. So sorry, I keep mushing around my hair. I just can't see you guys. Rose, I would just be careful about that. That's where white gets a little tricky. Alrighty. Now, the other thing that you may be struggling with, Rose, you may not have strategy behind you. The interior design advocate I was talking about earlier, we teach design strategy. For example, how to blend fabrics, how to blend pattern. It's way too big a lesson for me to teach you right now, Rose, in this Facebook Live. But if you are struggling with how to mix patterns, large scale, mid scale, small scale, how to mix colors, doesn't sound like you're mixing colors, you're really more that blue and white, beautiful, fresh, thematic. So maybe it's that you're having a hard time knowing how to mix your patterns. Stripes go with just about anything. I can give you like little quick tidbits like that, but even those are going to fall short if you are really trying to put together a full pattern play through your entire room, Rose, because the pillows on your sofa relate to what's on your wall, relates to what's on your floor, relates to, the chair across the way. So maybe you need a little more strategy help in terms of how to do fabric planning. But in terms of those colors sound great. Just watch your background, note that background white in your white pillow against your sofa so that there's an agreement that you'll be happy with. And also, Rose, make sure everyone's going to be happy with 4 pillows. So often I have people say, I love the way, a sofa filled with pillows looks. It looks so cozy, and it does, until your husband says, I can't stand all these pillows in my way all the time. Or maybe you think they're getting in your way. So maybe you'd be happier with 2 pillows, Rose. I don't know, or maybe you'd like to do 3 instead of 4, okay? So just be careful on the number of pillows to make sure you can live with it. And in your case, Rose, make sure you have the strategy you need to be able to mix pattern. There's definitely formula to the way you mix pattern, and definitely make sure that you're being mindful of the quality of the whites that you're bringing into that white sofa. Okay, great question though, Rose, and thank you so much for asking that. Crystal says, is light gray a good neutral for my bedroom in carpet? Crystal, light gray is a phenomenal neutral. All the neutrals are great. Whites, creams, sand. Listen, beige, sand is coming back. It is. Gray, wonderful. So I don't think there's a bad move on neutrals for your carpet. Particularly, if you have really deep pockets, and you can keep changing things when you just kind of tire of it in a couple of years, yeah, throw a color on your carpet, no problem. But if you're really trying to go for something that will have long vision, never a bad idea to go neutral on some of those less easily changed things like a wall-to-wall carpet. And then you can throw in those splashier colors if you are so inclined. Crystal, you may not even want color. You may be, of the moment right now with the white walls and the beigey and a lot of the grays and, a little blush pink thrown in there, or just everything stays really icy. Just redoing my daughter's room right now. Anna's going to be working from home for probably about a year while she saves up to move out on her own. And we took her bedroom into this really icy gray and white kind of palette, really sweet. But the carpet stayed really neutral and the grays came in someplace else. Her carpet stayed into a creamy neutral. Crystal, you wanted to go into a gray neutral? Absolutely works. Not a problem at all. And I'm going to tell you this, Crystal, I don't know when the gray bubble is going to pop, and I don't want you to worry about it. If you like that neutral, do it. It's a classic neutral. I have said this before during Facebook Lives, but I have had gray in my home before gray was a thing. And I will have it in my home after gray is a thing. And I have other colors in my home that are not a thing, but I love designing with those colors and living with those colors, so they're in my home. So design what you love. There's never, ever, ever a better answer than designing with what you love. Okay, time for 1 or 2 more questions, and I have to scooch out of here. Alrighty. So, Rose, you are welcome. I'm so glad that was helpful for you. Elaine wants to know, charcoal sofa and paprika and cream pillows. Crystal, Elaine, is that even a question? Charcoal sofa and paprika and cream pillows. Pale teal dining chairs. Rectangular pillow for couch, what color? All right, so I'm getting, you're doing fast keyboard speak. Okay, so Elaine has a charcoal sofa with paprika and cream pillows. Nice. Pale teal dining chairs. Rectangular pillow for the couch. What color? You just told me that you have a charcoal sofa that already has paprika and cream pillows. So I'm assuming, Elaine, that you are in open concept. You haven't told me that. So this is sort of like this is sort of like Marco Polo design you're doing with me right now, Elaine. I'm assuming that, Elaine, your sofa is somehow open to your dining room that has teal chairs in it. So if you're asking me if you can put teal on your sofa, you can. You don't have to. You can let that teal just be its own thing if you're open concept, or you can bring it over. Here's the thing that you need to know, Elaine. As the eye sweeps a space, it's looking for something to latch onto. It's looking for differences. I don't know why my hair is all over my face today. I apologize for futzing around with my hair here. So I want you to think about how the color tracks around your room, Elaine, or your open concept room, which I'm guessing you have. So you can decide, do I want my eye to just see this tickle of teal across the way in the dining room, and then there it is? Or do I want the eye to kind of make a circle and move around? Or do I want the eye to drive across this space and connect the teal on my sofa to the teal in the dining room? The eye looks for connection. It looks for things that repeat itself. So it sounds to me like you could do teal. Sounds to me like you don't have to. You could stay creamy and paprika on your sofa as well. Hopefully that helps you without seeing a picture. Pretty hard for me to answer that question, so I'm hoping I did you well there. All right, was that my last question? Are we out of time? We're out of time. Getting the from Katie, so that's the yes. We're out of time. All right, listen, my lovelies. It was great being here with you. If you liked this, oh dear me, I don't know where my thingy is. Give us a follow on Instagram. Yeah, Katie, look for that really high-tech thing. Give us a follow on, things are falling. Give us a follow on Instagram at decorating.genius, so that we can keep you inspired, keep teaching you, keep taking you under our wing, and just keep the conversation going. We love having you with us. Also, next week, I'm going to be talking about wallpaper. Oh, the high-tech graphic has arrived. There it is. If you like us, follow us on Instagram at decorating.genius. We're not always this wacky, and no, we have not been drinking. It was that construction site. I think it was all the construction dust we just swallowed. Anyway, at decorating.genius. Next week, oh yeah, I was doing my we're going to be doing wallpaper. It's back. It's back, and it's doing such yummy things. Oh my goodness. So if you want to take a walk on the dark side, the wild side, join me this coming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be talking to you about how to dip your toe in the wallpaper area without having to, need the smelling salts, and how to go heavy in if you want to go in as well. We'll be looking at the design side of wallpaper, okay? All right, my lovelies, until next time, be bold and be beautiful in that gorgeous life of yours. And definitely when it comes to being bold and beautiful in your beautiful home, remember, please, as well, to be wise. See you next week, everyone.